Welcome back to MATHUSAY Math 10 tutorial. In this episode, you will learn how to find the sum of the first n terms in a geometric sequence with the common ratio equal to 1 and r equal to -1. Let's start. In the part 1 of geometric series lesson, you learn that you can use any of these formulas to solve for the sum of the first n terms in a geometric sequence with r not equal to 1. Now, what will happen if the common ratio is equal to 1 or if the common ratio is equal to -1? Can we still use the same formula? Let's find out. What if r is equal to 1? If r is equal to 1, then we cannot use the formula since it will become undefined. Instead, we will add the terms in the geometric sequence in this way. Now, if r is equal to 1, then we have s sub n equals the first term plus a sub 1 times 1 plus a sub 1 times 1 raised to 2 up to the last term, which is a sub 1 times 1 raised to n minus 1. This means that we will be adding only the same numbers all the time, n times. So, if r is equal to 1, then the sum of the first n terms in the geometric sequence is s sub n equals number of terms in the given sequence times the first term. So this is the formula that we are going to use if r is equal to 1. This time, what will happen if r is equal to -1 and the number of terms in the given sequence is even? Again, we will add the terms in the geometric sequence in this way. Now, if r is equal to -1, we have s sub n equals the first term plus the first term times -1 plus the first term times -1 squared up to the last term of the given sequence, which is the first term times -1 raised to n minus 1. If we simplify the right side of the equation, we have an alternating positive and negative terms in the given sequence. Since n is even, and if you group them, we will have the sum of zeros kasi a sub 1 minus a sub 1 is 0. A sub 1 minus a sub 1 is still 0, up to so on. So, if r is equal to the -1 and the number of terms that we're dealing with is even, so the sum is automatically equal to 0. How about if r is equal to -1 and the number of terms that we're talking about is odd? Now, following the same procedure that we did a while ago, we have to add the number of terms in the given sequence. So, if we substitute r equal to -1, so we have s sub n equals a sub 1 plus a sub 1 times -1 plus the first term times -1 squared up to the last term of the given sequence. Now, again, we will have an alternating sign terms in the given sequence. And if we group them by pair, so we will have this. Now, as you can see, one term is not paired, right? Since we are talking about odd number of terms in the given sequence. Hence, if you get the sum of the terms in the given sequence with r equals -1 and the number of terms is odd, the sum will be the first term. So let's go back to our MATHUSAY concept corner. We will use S sub n equals n times the first term if r is equal to 1. On the other hand, if r is equal to the negative 1, then the sum S sub n simplifies to. Now, if r is equal to negative 1, the sum will be 0 if the number of terms is even. The sum will be equal to the first term, that is, if n is odd. So let's take these examples. Example number 1. What is the sum of the first 10 terms of 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 and so on? Now, what are the given in this problem? First, we have to identify if r is equal to 1 or r is equal to negative 1. So, sa sequence natin, you know that you have 2, then 2, 2, 2, and so on. So, the common ratio here in this case is 1. And the first term is 2, and we are talking about 10 terms in the given sequence. So, since r is equal to 1, then the sum is S sub n equals n times the first term. Now, substituting the values of n and the first term, we have n is 10 and the first term is 2. So, the sum of these is 20. How about example number 2? What is the sum of the first 10 terms of 2 minus 2 plus 2 minus 2? Now, in this problem, we know that r is equal to negative 1. Dahil you have terms in the sequence that is 2, then followed by negative 2, then positive 2 again, then negative 2 alternating terms. So, and we're talking about 10 terms and n is even. So then the sum is automatically equal to 0. That's because your common ratio is negative 1 and the number of terms that we're talking about is even. Let's have this last example. What is the sum of the first 11 terms of 2, negative 2, plus 2, negative 2? This is similar to problem number 2, but this time you're talking about 11 terms in the given sequence. So, since we know already that r is equal to negative 1 and the number of terms that we're talking about is 11 and that's odd, so the sum will be the first term, which is positive 2. Again, as a summary, please take note of the common ratio. If r is equal to 1, then you will use S sub n equals n times the first term. Now, if r is equal to negative 1, then you have two cases. Either the sum will be 0 if n is even, then if r is negative 1 and n is odd, then the answer will be the first term. Please pause the video and try these exercises. And don't forget to type your answers on the comment section. If you think MATHUSAY Math Tutorial helps you learn math on your own, give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Remember, ang sekreto para maging mathusay, matuto, at mag-ensayo. Catch the next episode and learn more about infinite geometric series. Bye!